What's up, guys? I'm awake from my 5 month slumber of uploading stuff. I came to this CS2 video, this preview of this loadout, and it's pretty interesting because you get to pick what your loadout is, what guns you want to have purchasable in the game. And at first glance, I was like, cool, now I can bring both the M4S and the M4A4. But as I thought more about it, I realized this loadout system is not actually that great. Uh, More often than not, it probably won't matter because you're not really buying some of the guns in this game, like the M249 and like the UMP. No one really buys anymore, right? So in that respect, it's like you're kind of not losing much. But on the other hand, just the general idea of limiting what you can purchase just feels wrong to me. Now, I don't think what pistols you bring into the game with your 4 slots really changes anything. You just have to think about what gun you don't want to bring into the game. And for most people, I think it's going to be the dualies because the CZ, even though it's not really used much anymore, is still on paper, in theory, a decent gun to just get the one, to get yours, and let God take the wheel after that. The dualies are not very useful past pistol round, just because their damage is weak. You don't have a one-shot headshot to any armored player, which is, every round that's not the pistol round, probably. And there's just no point in buying the dualies. It's like having 2 Glocks in your hand, which, for $300, you might as well buy the P250 at that point, because at least with the P250, you can dink body shot someone and get a kill. Whereas with the dualies, you probably got to dink them like 3 times. So, yeah, I could see a world where most people cut the dualies from their loadout. Maybe the guy that's buying util, or one of the people that's open to buying util, will pick up the dualies and cut maybe the deagle. I think, me personally, I would consider cutting the deagle for a CZ and dropping 2 dualies on pistol, because my deagle is awful. Like, I am so bad at the deagle. I never use that thing. So, it's kind of interesting, but also it's not too much to think about. I think most people are gonna cut the dualies, and like some weirdos are gonna cut the deagle and pick up a CZ. I don't know. Mid tier being 5 slots, same idea. Kind of sucks that you're limiting what you can buy in the game, but at the same time, no one's buying 90% of these guns, or 90% of the guns in the game. I think MP9 MAC-10 is a staple. I think you skip the MP7 and the UMP. You definitely want a shotgun in here. Maybe the Mag 7. I know one of my friends, Pie Hero, loves the Nova, but I'll tell you what. I know one of my friends loves the Nova, Pyro, but I don't know. That gun doesn't like me. So sure. Yeah, I can't see much going on in that mid-tier section, right? Because, like, what SMGs are you really buying throughout the game? MP9. Yeah, MP9. Maybe a P90 if you're, like, fucking around. What shotguns are you buying? Either the Nova or the Mag 7? But, like, also not even the sawed-off? Maybe an XM? I could totally see an XM world. But I also can't justify the XM if you have the MP9. And then in the heavy category, like, no one's buying the M249 or the Negev. So, like, really you have 1 slot in the mid tier, and that's MP9. Maybe there's a fringe world where the MP5 becomes, like, decent, but I really don't see that. Like, the world where you're force buying but also want a silencer, I don't really see that kind of a world. Or I don't see too many rounds where you want that. Going into the rifle section, this is where it's like you really need to think about what you want to bring in, because you can bring in both the M4 and the A4 and the silenced M4A1, but then that leaves you with 3 slots. Most people are going to bring an AWP. Most people are going to bring the FAMAS / Galil. So what's your 5th slot? Is it the Scout or is it the AUG / Krieg? And me personally, I can never justify the Scout because, again, I am awful at the Scout and the Deagle, both. So, on the one hand, you don't have a Scout, which could be good in some situations, but I guess that is where it kind of like depends on how you perceive your ability in those weapons. At the same time, though, you also can't drop the weapons you don't bring in, right? You can't drop someone a Scout. I literally don't have it in my buy menu. You know, you can't drop someone a AUG / Krieg if you don't bring it in. So it's kind of a weird pick and choose thing where you're limiting what you can bring in, which I can't justify that this is a good change. It's cool, I guess, because it forces you to make decisions. But why are we not getting the full buy menu? You know, like, why are we not having all of our options available? Even if a gun is bought 1 round out of 2 million rounds, it's still bought once, right? Like, you still have the option. So, I don't know. I think this whole buy menu is really strange. I don't like that you're limiting your options, but we'll see how it plays out in theory. I don't think too many people are going to be mad about it, like, in terms of how it is used in, like, real games. But just on paper, I don't understand why they're limiting our choices here. If you're curious about my loadout, I'm expecting to use USP for starting pistol. I'll probably end up going P250 5.7 / Tech 9, CZ, and probably Deagle. Right? I think I cut the dualies from my options of purchasing because dualies are just not good past pistol rounds. I don't want 2 locks in my hand for $300. I'd rather have a gun that can actually have a good chance of killing someone if you're close enough and have the headshot aim. Mid tier, it's like, I don't know, there's not really much to think about here. It's MP9 Mac 10 for slot 1. Slot 2 is probably a Nova. Slot 3 is MP5, I guess, because why not? Because you have a silencer. Slot 4, XM. And slot 5, just to troll, I would probably bring in the M249. Just because, like, you're probably not going to buy any of the other slots in the mid-tier section. For rifles on CT side, it's definitely M4S, A4, AWP, Krieg / AUG, and then FAMAS Galil. That's my opinion. You don't really need the Scout so much unless you lean into AWPing, and you know, usually that's just gonna be the one guy. So, like, I don't see a world where you need to drop someone a Scout. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I don't like the Scout. So, you know, if one of my teammates needs a Scout for me in CS2 and I don't have it, well, sucks to suck. Ask someone else. On T side, it's gonna be AK, Galil, Krieg, AWP, and wait, it's just the Scout that's left. Or I guess the auto sniper. I would probably put the auto sniper in here. I mean, the Scout is definitely the better choice, but I think it's funnier to bring the auto sniper and not have a Scout on T side, because the Galil is $100 more, and it it's more flexible. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this whole loadout thing. I don't like it personally. I think it's a little not great on paper, but you know, let me know in the comments below what you are going to bring in and what you think of this loadout system. Thanks for watching, and like the video if you liked the video.